All right, let's jump right in. In this explainer, we're going to dig into some really powerful ideas from LightNet. They tap into this feeling a lot of us have, that sense of unease that the systems around us are getting tighter, more restrictive. But, and this is the important part, we're also going to look at a powerful path forward that starts inside each of us. This quote really sets the tone, doesn't it? It's not talking about the crazy headlines or what's trending online. No, this is about something deeper, a shift that you can feel. Something that tells you the old ways of doing things, well, they're starting to lose their grip. I mean, this really hits home for a lot of people, right? You get that feeling that no matter who you vote for, no matter what you do, the big picture never really changes. It's like running into this invisible wall over and over again. Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into today. Okay, section 1, the architecture of control. So let's break down how this actually works. The insights from LightNet suggest that modern control isn't some obvious, in-your-face force. It's way more subtle. It's woven into procedures, often disguised as things that sound good, like safety or convenience, but what they're really doing is slowly, quietly chipping away at our choices. Okay, get this for a real-world example. Imagine you just want to go on a holiday, but now there are proposed rules in the US where you might have to hand over 5 years of your social media history just for a vacation. All of a sudden, your holiday isn't a holiday anymore. It's an audition. You're being judged on your digital life before you can even think about packing. And it gets even more basic than travel. Let's talk about food. I mean, what could be more fundamental? The big industrial food systems have made products that are engineered, addictive, and low on actual nutrients the norm. And the point LightNet makes is huge. When the very thing that's supposed to nourish you actually makes you sick and dependent, you're losing control over your own health. And this same pattern pops up with natural health. Take the UK, for example. You've got mushrooms like turkey tail and cordyceps, things people have been using for literally centuries. Well, now they've been relabeled as novel foods. What does that mean? It means a mountain of red tape that crushes small businesses and makes it harder for you to access something that, just grows in nature. So you see, these aren't just random, separate incidents. They're all part of a bigger pattern. You've got surveillance through things like digital IDs, money itself being controlled with programmable currencies, bureaucracy acting as a gatekeeper, and of course, the constant distraction from our phones and the outrage of the day. It all points in one direction, centralizing power and turning our lives into something that requires permission. All right, section 2, the pivot inward. So after hearing all that, the big question is, what do we do about it? And this is where the analysis takes a really interesting turn. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, fighting these big systems out there isn't the most effective strategy. The real battleground? It's inside us. The real power these systems have comes from our own inertia, our unexamined habit. And this leads us to this incredible concept they call the imposter of the soul. This is brilliant. Think of it like a really, really clever part of you. It's that inner voice that sounds super spiritual and wise, but its actual goal is just to keep you comfortable and protect your ego. It's the voice that says, oh, I'm just surrendering to the flow, when what you're really doing is avoiding a tough but necessary change. It knows all the right buzzwords to keep you right where you are. And this chart just lays it out perfectly. Look at the difference. Real growth, it embraces friction. It's about actually breaking down old conditioning. But the imposter? Oh, it uses spirituality to stay comfy. It's a master at rationalizing why you shouldn't act. You'll hear it whisper things like, it's just not the perfect timing. It's such a subtle but powerful trap. Okay, section 3, the power of coherence. So if the battle is on the inside, what's our weapon? Well, here's the thing. It's not a weapon at all. It's a state of being. It's something called coherence. Think of it as this quiet, super stable foundation inside you. And it's the perfect antidote to all the chaos out there. So let's get really clear about what we mean by coherence. This isn't just positive thinking or trying to force yourself to be happy, not at all. It's that state where everything inside you, your thoughts, your feelings, your nervous system, your actions, they all stop fighting each other and start working together. They align. And when that happens, you build this inner foundation that's incredibly resilient. And this is a really important distinction to make. Calm is great, but it's temporary. Right? It's situational. A loud noise, a bad email, and it's gone. Coherence is different. It's structural. It's a stable foundation. Think of it like this. Calm is like a shallow puddle that dries up in the sun. Coherence is like a deep well you can always draw from, no matter the weather. And this metaphor of a tuning fork, it's just perfect. It shows you how coherence works in the world. You strike a tuning fork and it holds its frequency, pure and simple. It doesn't have to argue or convince the other instruments in the room to get in tune. They just naturally start to resonate with it. It's a power that works through presence, not force. Now let's talk about what happens when we lack coherence, the cost of it. Does any of this sound familiar? You get these amazing, inspired ideas, but you're just exhausted? Or you have these deep spiritual insights, but you're still filled with anxiety? Or you get a huge burst of momentum, and then you just crash? See, these things aren't you failing. LateNet calls it a capacity issue. It means our internal system just isn't integrated enough yet to handle the energy of those big ideas, so we burn out. Okay, section 4, reclaiming your sovereignty. This is where we bring it all home. How do we actually build this coherence? How does this internal state turn into real freedom in our actual day-to-day lives? Let's get practical. And this is where that quiet rebellion really comes to life. It's not about big, loud gestures. It's about small, powerful acts. Things like just pausing, taking a single breath before you fire back or reply to that provocative email. Choosing to buy real food from a local farm instead of grabbing another processed product. Sharing what you know freely. Each one of these small choices builds that inner coherence and connects your inner state to your outer world. And really, that's the whole point. A coherent person doesn't have to prove anything. You don't need to win arguments or be the loudest one in the room. Your stable, grounded presence does the work for you. Because that kind of presence is totally disruptive to systems that run on fear, outrage, and reactivity. They just don't know what to do with it. So in the end, that's the real question, isn't it? This isn't about changing the world out there. It's about you, it's about us, it's asking a really honest question. How much of ourselves, our energy, our attention, our power, are we willing to just give away before we finally decide to do things differently? At what point do we choose to reclaim that energy and start living from a place of true inner alignment and freedom?
You've been listening to the Weaving the LightNet TLDR. To explore more about any of these topics, visit lightnet.co.uk or listen to the full deep dive podcast episode linked below. Give the video a like, share this episode with others who would appreciate it, and subscribe to join us next week as we continue weaving the web of planetary consciousness together. Stay sovereign.